So this is the XAUUSD analysis for Monday the 23rd of April. Now, let's just have a look at our prices and where prices may likely go. So previously we had prices head up towards at 13.55. We didn't get the close above the 13.57 level, from which we did see sell side momentum take us down towards this 13.44.26 from the 44.26. Brief consolidation, had a rejection of the 44.26, sold the sell side momentum take us down towards the 34.51. Now, from the 34.51, we've had a couple of tests off from the 34.51 from below. It has held as resistance, and we have seen the sell side momentum come into this market, bring us down towards the 13.28. Now, in around 13.28 is an area where we previously found support. At present, we don't appear to be holding support at the 13.28 level. So if we're not able to hold support at 13.28, we are then looking for prices to progress down towards the very next major level that we are looking at here on the to the downside, down towards our 13.20.25. Successful break from which we're looking for prices down towards our 13.58. And if we do see that further sell side momentum continuation here to the downside, we are then looking for prices to progress down towards the 13.07, 13.05 being the very, very strong major level. I wouldn't anticipate prices moving all the way down to 13.05 from where we are at present today on the 23rd of April. But 13.58 may just come into focus depending on volatility during the US trading session. Now, that's if we were to see that further sell side momentum come into the market. Those are the levels that we are looking at. But if we were to hold on to the 13.28 and form a bit of a low around 13.28, we're then looking for price to progress towards our 13.34.51. Successful break from which, again, we're looking for prices back up towards that 13.44.26. But we are seeing quite a bit of dollar strength across the board, so it does seem unlikely that we're going to see a move back up towards a 13.44.26. Might just see a test depending on if we do see a kind of trend move. Might see a test of the 13.34.51, but at present we do seem poised for further downside continuation here on the XAUUSD. Now what we'll do now is we'll have a look at the monthly chart, just to see how prices are developing here. We'll remove the drawings from the chart, and we are seeing this slow process here to the upside on the XAUUSD. Have our lows there, higher low, and we are seeing the slow movement here towards the upside. So there is a slight bias towards the long side here on the higher time frames on the XAUUSD, but we have seen quite a bit of sell side momentum, especially over the past 2 months. We have not been able to hold our progression here to the upside. Instead, we are seeing some sell side momentum overhang the market. It appears that there are some bears selling this market downwards. So there remains a possibility of seeing a further retracement while still maintaining this slight bias here to the upside on the USD. Now what we'll do now is have a look at the weekly time frame, just to see how prices are developing here. On this weekly time frame, we can see here that the 400 period moving average has acted as a dynamic level of resistance. Saw sell side momentum there, and there off the 400 period moving average. Again, we came pretty close towards our 400 period moving average, and again we are seeing that sell side momentum come into the market. Interestingly enough, on this weekly time frame, we have got a bit of a you can see there's a bit of a trend line at the bottom there, so there is a potential for further price contraction squeeze before we likely see a breakout of the XAUUSD. A breakout of the XAUUSD. We'll see how far a retracement here takes us, whether it does take us down towards that let's just see where that would be. Whether this retracement does take us down towards that 12, in around that 1280 or so, in around the high 1270s, around the 1280s. See if we do find a support down there. If we do see that retracement all the way down towards that 1280, 1277, before seeing that price progression back up towards that 1357, and a potential breakout to the upside and a move up towards that 1375. And the reason I've mentioned 1375 is because in around 1375, we do have 1375 are the highs of 2016. But first, we have to progress beyond the 400 period moving average here on this weekly time frame, and the 400 period moving average is currently sitting at sitting pretty close to what at 1367.10. So it's sitting in around 1367.10. We're quite a bit away from there now at the moment. Instead, at the moment, we do seem poised for further sell side momentum, possibly even breaking that 1300 level on the XAUUSD, unless we do have a catalytic change. So we'll have a look at the daily chart here on the XAUUSD, and as we can see here on the daily chart, we weren't able to close above the 1357. What we did see is we did form a higher low in around that 1334.51. We've now invalidated that low, so we'll look to see if the 1320, our next previous swing in the market, does hold. But we are seeing that sell side momentum follow through here to the downside. We've got fairly large candles closing near their lows. At present, we are trading near the lows of the candle here on the 23rd. So we'll look to see if we do see that momentum follow through to the downside, or whether we can form a low and retest the 1334.51. If we are able to hold on to it, then we'll be looking for price progression up to the upside to retest the old highs. And with that said, that pretty much wraps up the XAUUSD analysis. Thanks for watching.